So I want to talk about the players in Green Bay who I think have risen the most during this training camp up the roster, up the depth chart. And to start off, we'll start off with the guy who I think has really made the most noise, one of the guys who has made the most noise in Packers camp in the Packers preseason, and that is wide receiver Malik Heath, who is undrafted free agent out of Mississippi. And if you watch those preseason games, you saw the abilities that he has. In 2 preseason games, he had 8 receptions, 111 yards at 13.9 yards per reception. 7 of his 8 catches were for first downs, and 4 of his 8 catches were contested catches per PFF. So he's a tough, physical receiver. I think he's 6'2", a little over 200 pounds, and he really has outplayed, I think, being an undrafted player because in both of these preseason games, he's had multiple plays where you're like, oh my goodness, how is this guy doing this? And I think when you look at the Packers receiver room, I think he is going to be the 6th Packers receiver to make this roster, with the top 5 being Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Jaden Reed, Samori Toure, and Dontavian Wicks, 5th-round draft pick. Malik Heath, I think that he has really made a case to be on this roster, and I would almost be shocked if he isn't just because of the consistency he's shown, his ability as a blocker as well, so he's definitely probably one of the biggest risers. Next, we have Carl Brooks, Packers 6th-round draft pick this past season from Bowling Green. And if we look at his final time, or look at his time in college, I believe his final year, he was one of only 6 FBS players to have 18-plus tackles for loss and 10-plus sacks. And I believe the reason he went so late was because the fact that he was in the MAC conference, which isn't as, solid as these other bigger conferences. And so he stayed around a lot longer because he wasn't playing against top-tier competition. But so far, he has been the highest-graded defensive lineman for the Packers in this preseason. He's played in 65 snaps in 2 preseason games, and he has an 82.7 grade per PFF. And he has consistently made plays in the backfield in this preseason. Very good against the run. And then moving on, we have Colby Wooden, another interior defensive lineman from this draft, 4th rounder. And he also, too, I think, in these preseason games has shown that ability to get off blocks in the run, the ability to, he has lots of speed. I remember one play from the first preseason game. He read that there was a screenplay going on. He drops back in coverage, almost intercepts the ball. And so I think to see the Packers get 2 guys in the 4th round and 6th rounds, guys who are going to be solid depth on the interior of this defensive line, I think it should go a long way in making this Packers defense better when they need to get, other guys on the field outside of Devontae Wyatt, TJ Slayton, Kenny Clark. So it's very promising what these guys have shown so far in camp and preseason. Then we have Kingsley Enagbare, who had an incredible game this past week against the Patriots, had 2 sacks, forced fumble, has played amazing in his second season here as he enters his second season. Last year, of course, he was a 5th-round draft pick in the 2022 draft. And in his rookie season, he played in 465 snaps, had 25 pressures, 3 sacks overall. And so I think that we're seeing that year 2 jump start to occur. Obviously, it's still preseason, but I think the Packers are very happy with the steps forward Enagbare has taken. And so now with Rashawn Gary seemingly going to be ready week 1, the Packers have solid depth at edge rusher with Enagbare, and then hopefully Lucas Van Ness will take some steps forward. Then we have Rasheed Walker, who this past Saturday started at left tackle. Of course, Bakhtiari wasn't going to play, but he started over Yosh Nijman, who I would have expected to win that backup left tackle spot, with Zach Tom winning the right tackle spot. But Rasheed Walker has done enough, according to the coaches, to start there on Saturday. And then today at practice, he also started at left tackle. Bakhtiari, of course, not playing, but Yosh Nijman was, and so he still got the start over Yosh Nijman. So to see him take these steps forward is promising for this Packers offensive lineman room, just because of him being a 7th-round pick last year, and he only had 4 snaps in 2022. He has taken huge strides forward if he's already outcompeting Yosh Nijman at this current point in time. And in his 97 preseason snaps, he's only allowed 1 pressure and 0 sacks. Then to end it off, we have Emmanuel Wilson, who I'm still not sold that he's going to make this roster, just because Brian Gutekunst, Matt LaFleur have talked about the importance of the third back being able to pass block, being able to be effective in special teams. And I think that we've seen Patrick Taylor do more of that. And even though I would say Emmanuel Wilson is a better runner, I still think the Packers may go with Patrick Taylor because of his all-around ability and special teams ability. But Emmanuel Wilson has been really, really good as a runner. 21 attempts in the preseason, 174 yards, 8.3 yards per attempt. Obviously, his 80-yard touchdown run helped a ton, but it was a beautiful run. And 2 touchdowns overall. So I did not expect him to really make the noise he's made so far as an undrafted free agent, and there's no doubt he has made lots and lots of noise. But those are the guys that I think have taken the biggest jump here in training camp. Feel free to let me know your thoughts, who you believe has taken big strides forward this camp and preseason in the comments down below. But that is all I have for this one. Feel free to drop a like, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and I'll see you guys next time.